Hey guys, it's KCJILLY. I was coming out to see if I had any stuff to grab out of the garden, and I thought I'd take you along. Let's check it out. Let's just see what it looks like before, we've had the last couple of days 102-degree temperatures, and it gets hot like that, stuff's gonna stop making. So just gonna let you have a nice little look. Today actually is overcast and a little cooler, so check it out. Well, the sun golds, I've got several that are ready. Figure I'll show you my little harvest. Let's see, come on off of there, buddy. My grandson, he likes to pick these guys for me. Half the time though, he can pull a whole cluster off on accident. And so I gotta watch him. He's figuring it out, but I'll let those stay a little longer. All right, so one little plant, I've got that much anyway. The deal's getting pretty long and hairy. I'm waiting. I've already used so much. We've been pickling everything, but everything's coming along really nice. Check out my wife's canna. It's got a pretty yellow flower. This one's a little different than the others that she has around the house, but I saw this morning. I thought it was really pretty. Isn't that nice? Guys kind of filling out. Have a couple more sun golds right here. I'm gonna wait on that guy. Three. All right, so I got a little pile started. And that dude is almost there. It's blushing, but because I'm so full of tomatoes in my house, I'm gonna wait to pick some of those that are just starting, and I'm gonna get some of these guys that are actually there right now. I'm trying to do this at a pace because my okra plants are just getting going, and I want to make some kind of gumbo stuff. I want to can some kind of gumbo kind of stuff with okra and tomatoes, and I will be able to do that if I can just wait it out. And luckily, I have enough tomatoes that are not ready. They're getting close, but I think they'll all come along. In my okra, which has only been putting on 1 or 2 okras per plant at this point, I'm hoping it's gonna come along too. So, well, my lunchbox peppers, got a couple on there, but they're not orange yet. And the bell pepper, I guess it's finally gonna try again. I pulled off some of that stuff and trying to get these guys off the ground a little bit. And I've seen lots of videos where people pluck out this section up here to make them grow more, but I've done it a few times, and the truth is I just don't see that much more fruit produced when it's all said and done. My wife's green onions, store-bought, she stuck them in the ground, just tooting around, and look at them. They're flowering, falling over, heavy. All right, let's see what else we got. I think way over there. And I had to pause for a second because I know I told you before that I'm not supposed to cut on the elephant ears because my wife will kick my butt. But look, there's roses under there. I've got to hide all of those leaves before my wife sees them, because if she sees them. All right, we're gonna come check this section out. You like my green bean tree? It's supposed to be a red bud, but for some reason there's green beans hanging out of it. And I'm okay with that. Oh, I got some Romas starting to get a little color to them. Cool. I've never eaten a homegrown Roma tomato. Banana pepper, we picked it off the other day. And I kind of want to check out these homegrown Romas. All right, there's one. Let's get this guy off of here. See, and this is why I thin this stuff out and prune like I do so much, guys. It's just, to me, it's nice to be able to see my stuff. And really, like right now, the mosquitoes would be eating me alive. But like I showed you before, these leaves, I'll chop these leaves. It'll be a limb kind of like this, all hairy and leafy. That's what this was. But see how I left this sucker? And now if there's hope for them, then everywhere, you can see I left the sucker. That's a whole new fruit producing plant possibly in the future. And we'll just see how it weathers through the summer while I round up what's already made. And maybe by the fall, we'll be in good shape. All right, here's some more over here. Let me see here. I have to be nice and share some of this. My garden at work, my secret garden out there, that guy was so fully loaded after the weekend. We picked everything before the weekend came. And by the time we came back Monday, when I drove up, my partner was already there at work ahead of me, opening the door to the shop. But both of his arms were fully loaded with like 1.5 foot long squash and cucumbers and okra. And we had so many green beans, we filled up 2-gallon bags. So I don't know if you guys recall, but I had a bunch of sunflowers that were over the roof of this little building here. And they've finally pootered out. My wife has been harvesting the seeds from the heads. But we took the stalks, and I had to cut those guys with some pretty big loppers. We took those, cleaned them all off, and since I only had one cattle panel, it's too short and my cucumbers are getting hairy. So we thought, you know what? Let's just lean them against that fence and let those guys trellis up them and across to one another. And that's what we got going on here. You can see, I don't have any ready yet, but I've got all kinds of little ones started. And we've pulled off 4 or 5, 4 or 5. And if I pull any of these off right now, I'll also get a spanking because the cucumbers are kind of my wife's baby. She really likes them. That's something she's really into. And this is our first year to do it, so I'm proud of her. She did a good job. But we got all kinds of stuff. It's all coming. My little volunteer tomatoes, they're growing on up. I'm about to find out maybe if this one can produce something before it's too hot. What's going on? All right, my zucchini. Yep, there's one that's big enough. Any bigger than that, and it starts getting kind of tough. So let's get this guy off of here if I can. Hopefully I don't tear anything up. There we go. And we made some pickles out of these things, out of zucchini. And they're as good as any pickle I've ever eaten. They're so good. I'm really digging the cannon thing right now. Throw that off. Let's see over here at the squash. All right, what do we got? Let's load it up with all kind of stuff in there, but those are still a little bit too small, so we're gonna pass on this section too. I threw some of my green bean seeds in there just cause, and that looks like they're gonna make it. Got a dadgum spider web right here I almost walked into. All right, my little pomegranate's coming along, and all those little tiny plants there with the round leaves, that's all Egyptian spinach. So we'll see if that stuff makes. Do I have anything ready in here? Yes, I do. Okay, so go ahead and take this guy, that guy, and this guy. All right, so got those in there. And all right, let's see, which one was this? Okay, I still, like I say, I don't know if the seeds are right or not, because this one is supposed to be Ananas Noir, and I'm certain they got bigger than that. I don't know if it's just something going on in here in my greenhouse or what, but they're little. These guys are little. Let's see if I can show it to you there. Focusing is so hard for me for some reason. Maybe as soon as I grow up, I'll get better at this, but okay. So there's that one. And there's this one. This is what I do know, though. I was confused before. I thought possibly this could have been the Virginia Sweets, but it's definitely going to end up being those. It's got to be, because the Virginia Sweets that I saw are all a yellow-orange color. And I haven't seen any color come out on those guys yet. But whatever. We'll figure it out. I'll test it in the house and make sure it's something different first. But if it's good, I'll do a taste test on that Ananas Noir. The pink Berkeley, healthy but not ready. Been picking off of those guys pretty good. All right, let's see here. What we got? Our grapevines. I don't know if it, it's been over 2 months and I don't see any new growth, but the leaves are hanging in there, so I'm kind of confused. And the rosemary too. I'm just gonna leave it where it's at and keep babying it. We'll see what happens from there. Let's see if there's anything else also that I can put in that little harvest bucket. Okay, let's grab a couple of serranos off of this guy. And that's big enough. I don't have to get them real big. I like the serranos. I'll take you. One thing I've noticed, peppers and green beans, stuff like that, the more you pick them, the more they make. Now I have quite a bit of these guys. Check them out. They're doing just fine, but I'm gonna wait and let them cayennes go get a little color to them. See, this is what I'm saying. I don't know what this thing is. I thought it was a serrano, but look at it. I mean, that pepper is yellow, and they all go yellow like that. Some of them get really big too. The one I did try was hot, so we'll just keep piling them in the bucket here and see how that works out. Dad burn it. All right. Maybe grab another one there. And I'm gonna get the yellow one over here just cause. All right. Excuse my video skills. There's a little bit of beets that I thinned out from another row and brought over here just cause. All right, and if you will look right here and also right there, and there should be one coming right there at some point, but I've planted some comfrey. Finally, a fellow got a hold of me. I'd been asking about my deficiencies in my peach tree. You could see it had chlorosis and wasn't doing too well. And I asked, does somebody know what I'm missing here? What can I do to help this thing without putting a bunch of crazy fertilizers and such? And I showed a picture of my leaves. I mean, some of this spots and stuff, that's new, but it's looked like this for quite a while. And the answer I got was comfrey. He said, plant some comfrey around it, and whatever it's missing, the comfrey will do all the mining for you. It'll draw up whatever minerals and stuff that it's able to get out of my yard and bring them up here where it's accessible to this peach tree. So we're gonna try it and see if I can't get this guy to green up and get healthy. And I hope by next year, maybe I will finally get some peaches. The first year I had this thing, it was probably about that size. And it was so fully loaded with those little donut peaches. They were delicious. And I've never had another year worth of crap since then. So I'm trying to get this right. I have figured out how to do the hourglass thing and open the tree up and all that. So I try to keep it pruned right, but real life, guys, real life. There's the sweet heat. They're still a little bit small. And here we have our two little orange trees, to be continued. Here is the squash or zucchini that was planted with the pumpkins. So now I want to visit about the blueberry a little bit. Everybody told me they're picky, they got to have the right pH, and my mother-in-law brought me one, and I tried to plant it. This is what's left of it. It was rough, in all fairness, when I got it. Okay, and I bought 2 brand new ones online, and when I bought them, I also purchased some acid mix and some sulfur. And of course, I've got plenty of peat moss. You can see it hiding in there in the greenhouse. But so I did everything that I've learned, and I have got the pH here finally. I tested it yesterday. It is at 4.5. So, I mean, I'm in the range. And this one is doing pretty well. It's finally starting to, I mean, it's not, I say pretty well. I'm saying that because everything just kind of looked like this dead stick before, okay? But I've noticed, I don't know if you can see it, right here I got something trying to start here. It's green down in there, so maybe there's hope. If these will come on out, then maybe I can accidentally get some blueberries, and I would really like to. At the same time, I will tell you, because this is such a finicky plant, I've tried not to even water this thing from my hose because our water in Junction in Kimball County is awful. I mean, it's just got too much stuff. In the greenhouse where the sprayers mist on stuff, it's just like a calcium buildup so bad. So what I've been doing is I've got it right under the drip edge of my house. And so all the morning dew that rolls off comes down into it. When it rains, it gets loaded up pretty good. And so I do my very best not to water it all with my city water until I have to. These were actually doing better than this, but it started getting into the 100 degrees, like I said, and it had to have water, so I sprayed it with some city water, and I immediately saw a change. So, I mean, they are finicky. If I can get some blueberries off of it, it's great, but I'm not going to sweat it anymore. I'm not putting any more heart into it. I'm just going to try to obey the rules I can and hoping for the best. All right, and here's all my little seedlings that I've thrown in tomatoes. They're going to be the fall crop right there coming in. So we'll see how this whole thing works out, and glad you guys could join me on my little harvest, and we'll see you next time.